They will employ the press. And Kobe Buffkin will dribble it across half court for Michigan and hand off to Doug McDaniel to run the point. Playing a two-man game at the top of the key now with Jet Howard. To Hunter Dickinson at the right elbow. Not really within his shot, being defended by Trace Jackson Davis. Had a backdoor pass, elected not to take it. Step back three-point try for Howard is off the frill of rim. And the rebound goes to Galloway. Trace Jackson Davis drives all the way down the floor against Hunter Dickinson. Can't get the shot to go, but he'll head to the free throw line. And we have hit the under 16 timeout here in Bloomington, with Michigan coming all the way back and leading 42-36 against the home team Indiana Hoosiers on senior day with 15:51 to play. Kobe Buffkin delivered the one-handed stuff over Trace Jackson Davis. And all of a sudden, all it takes is a couple of buckets for Indiana to get right back in it. Then a defensive stop, and all of a sudden.
And the run that got Michigan back into it really started with Kobe Buffkin and his ability to beat Indiana defenders off the dribble, get to the rim, and make some plays at the rim. And then starting second half, Michigan's been able to knock down some shots, but that last shot by Jet Howard, little step back three. I know he's feeling himself a little bit after making a couple to start this second half, but not the most advised shot there. And then Indiana's done an excellent job of getting back.
And how different is this Michigan team when Jet Howard is knocking down those shots? He knocked in the first 2 3-pointers that he took in the half. And I would have liked to see a bit more of an open look and get his feet set before taking that three-point jumper. But it's nice to see him have the confidence to be shooting that shot here in the second half in a game that Michigan really, really needs to win.
Yeah, he certainly has the microwave ability that I think very few other Michigan players have on offense. You think about Dickinson and his ability to get hot from the low block, but two-pointers certainly don't add up as quickly as three-pointers. And Jet's ability to make shots, create shots for himself, especially knocking them down from behind the arc, is certainly something that adds a lot to this Michigan offense when it's working. Obviously, he has some struggles on the defensive end, but you live with those struggles so that you can get the offensive benefits that he can provide.
So the Wolverines have a 6-point lead. We're at the under 16 media timeout here from Bloomington. The Wolverines have stuck with their starting 5 for the entirety of the second half so far, so 4 minutes and 9 seconds, but you pretty much like what you've seen from that group so far. They came out of the half with a jolt of electricity. They built up that Michigan lead after trailing by 2 going to the break in what seemed like a miracle, really, for Michigan. They were down only 2 points with that late 10-0 run that they went on, but now they lead by 6. But that timeout that Mike Woodson called was to get Indiana back into a rhythm. Now the media timeout provides Michigan a chance to take their time, take a breath, and hopefully go on a run of their own as we are set to play at the under 16.
And really quickly, you mentioned the minutes for Michigan's big 4 of McDaniel, Dickinson, Buffkin, Howard. A lot of minutes against Illinois, a lot of minutes so far here against Indiana.
Trace Jackson Davis makes the first of 2. He had an and 1 earlier today, so he is now 2 for 2 from the line, make it 3 for 3. And Jackson Davis puts in his 14th and 15th points of the game. That's a game high. Next highest is his opposition, Hunter Dickinson, with 14. Michigan by 4, 15:45 on the clock. Kobe Buffkin at the right wing. Down low pass, Hunter Dickinson high on the right. Spinning on Jackson Davis. Gets position, off the window and in.
Beautiful spin move by Dickinson. People know he loves that left hand, so why not spin to the right, drop the shoulder, and get the easy lay to go.
You know, a lot of folks don't think that Hunter Dickinson can shoot with the right hand, but little do we know, he's got a bit of a right hand as well. Slow into the offense, Hood Schifino to the left wing for Galloway. Back to Hood Schifino. Michigan showing his own defense right now. Race Thompson to the left wing. Down low pass. Trace Jackson Davis, a fadeaway. Blocked by Dickinson, and he grabs the board as well, and Jet Howard will run the Michigan offense. Hand off to Doug McDaniel. Malik Renew is heading to the scorer's table for Indiana. He's the only athlete over there right now. Kobe Buffkin right wing, wants a down low pass to Dickinson, but Trace Jackson Davis grabs position. Jet Howard pump fake, steps to his right, fires a 3 and buries it.
It's a filthy jab step from Jet Howard to shake Miller Kopp, his defender, and then just stepped in rhythm into that 3-point jump shot, and he's got it going here in the second half.
Jet Howard now 3 of 4 in the second half, shooting the 3-point ball. A short jumper is off the mark, by Race Thompson, and Michigan heads into transition. Kobe Buffkin at the right wing, draws a Dickinson screen, steps back into the right corner. Dickinson looking for a backdoor pass, instead drives on Jackson Davis and draws a foul on him. Dickinson put it in, but it was well before the shot, and Jackson Davis will be called for his first personal foul.
It's important for Michigan here to continue to play through their offense, because that's what's created the shots for them. And sometimes when you see some shots go down, you want to just keep jacking them up, some maybe ill-advised shots, and I like that they've continued to get the ball to Dickinson here.
Largest lead of the day for Michigan. Kobe Buffkin drives. Kobe Buffkin tried to throw it down on Malik Renew and Trey Galloway, but his arm was taken away from him, and there is a foul called. The foul will go against Trey Galloway. That's his third personal foul. He has 4 points, 3 dimes, 1 board. But excuse me, that's his 4th personal foul, not his 3rd. His 4th personal with 14-17 to play. Kobe Buffkin splashes the first, and I would expect Tamar Bates would be in for Trey Galloway. That is the case. So Michigan has their largest lead of the day at 10. With 14-17 to play. And the Wolverines on a 6-0 run after both of Trace Jackson Davis's free throws. Kobe Buffkin loads and fires the second one, and it's an 11-point spread. Both teams with 3 fouls. Michigan has 3 timeouts to Indiana's 2. This Bloomington crowd urging on the home team on senior day. Hood-Schifino at the point. Looking to go down low to Jackson Davis. Defended with a lot of physicality by Hunter Dickinson. Hood-Schifino around a screen. Drives, delays, out of bounds, foul called, and it's going to go against Kobe Buffkin. Kobe thought that he had all ball as he walks over to his head coach, Juwan Howard, on the left side of the floor. Oh, I don't know.
He
so
might have
Jalen Hood-Schifino will head to the line.
Buffkin might have a bit of a point there, but nonetheless, great attack by Hood-Schifino. Get downhill, get to the line, see if Indiana can flip the momentum again here.
He's 2 for 2, looking to go 3 for 3. That's the case. Nothing but net for Jalen Hood-Schifino, the freshman guard from Pittsburgh. Scored 35 points in the win against Purdue a week ago. Put in 21 against Michigan back on February 11th, which was a 62-61 win for the Hoosiers. Spins the ball left hand, creaks the knees, and fires away to now make it a 9-point spread. 49-40. 2 ticks over 14 minutes remain here in this ball game. Last regular season one for both the Wolverines and the Hoosiers. Indiana has not beaten Michigan in Bloomington since 2015. Doug McDaniel at the left wing, backing down Hood-Schifino a long ways away from the bucket. Now Jet Howard, right wing, back to the point for McDaniel. Will Cheddar now left wing. Back to McDaniel, a 2-man game being played between these two. Doug pulls up, Doug fires a 3 and rattles it home. Michigan's largest lead is 12.
Not really Doug's game, the pull-up 3, but a big one there, and you can see the confidence flowing with Michigan on offense.
Great ball movement so far. The Big Ten logo, Renew has it for Indiana. Down low against Will Cheddar. He might try and back down Will with the left hand. Floats it over, air balls, and Jet Howard rips down the rebound. Here comes 13 in blue. Jet around a Dickinson screen. Has Trace Jackson Davis on him. Wants to go down low to the big man. Why not give it to him? Will Cheddar inside the paint. Down to Dickinson. Draws Renew. Floats it with the left hand. That's off the mark. Jackson Davis throws it off the backboard, then brings it down. 13 to play. Here comes Trace Jackson Davis on the attack. Spins, throws it up off the glass and in. 2 Michigan bodies hit the floor. Hunter Dickinson tried to draw a charge. He fell down. And then Will Cheddar was hit right in the mouth by a Trace Jackson Davis elbow. And he laid down right next to Hunter Dickinson. And Juwan Howard is livid on the far side of the floor. And I think they're going to take a look at this one, Dan.
Yeah, I do too. It looks like Jackson Davis might have got that elbow up into the head and neck area of Cheddar. Looks like they're going to head over to the monitor and take a look. Big call in this game. Kind of, you know, Indiana's fighting for some momentum and one play here.
We're going to get a second look at this right now, Dan. I don't think that's anything that you can really call a flagrant on Trace Jackson Davis. It seemed like he kind of just turned, and it's a tough spot for Will Cheddar to be in because he's obviously smaller in comparison to Jackson Davis, who is 6'9". Yeah.
certainly a good effort by Cheddar. He's just half a step late on the rotation, but I don't think he was really expecting Dickinson to fall over as easily as the big man did on that play. Looks like Dickinson got a little tripped up on his feet there. And
right, I think Will Cheddar went down because of the elbow, and I don't think that was intended to be a charge against Jackson Davis, but the Dickinson fall was certainly supposed to be intended as a charge. Nonetheless, as it stands right now, it's 2 points for Jackson Davis, his 16th and 17th, and a foul going against likely Will Cheddar.
It looks like they're calling a common foul here on Will Cheddar.
If there were to be a foul against Trace Jackson Davis, it would just be the second.
No angry reaction from the Indiana bench, so I'm assuming they're sticking with the call on the floor.
I think you're right, Dan. It just looks like a common foul. Typically, we'll get an announcement. And there is the announcement from the public address announcer here from Assembly Hall. So it is 52-42, and maybe that's the spark that Indiana needs to make a run in this game. Jackson Davis, who was 3 for 3 at the charity stripe, will attempt to be like Jalen Hood-Schifino and go 4 for 4. Off the back iron, Will Cheddar taps it away to Kobe Buffkin, and here comes Michigan with Doug McDaniel running the offense for the Maize and Blue. First missed free throw for Trace Jackson Davis. McDaniel surveys. Long pass to the right wing for Kobe Buffkin. One-on-one Dickinson and Jackson Davis. Foul called on Indiana. It's against Tamar Bates.
Yeah, the double came down from Bates on that wing, but Dickinson went quick. He knew what he was trying to do, get to that lane, and that left hook went quick. Bates just a half second late and drew the foul on Bates there.
He has not taken a shot here in the second half. He took 3 in the first. He's played 6 minutes and has committed 2 fouls. That's the stat line for Tamar Bates off the bench. Here comes a Dickinson screen for Kobe Buffkin. He drives inside the paint with the left hand. Kobe Buffkin is so smooth with the left hand once he gets inside the paint. It's a 12-point spread. Hood-Schifino, a free throw line pass to Trace Jackson Davis. There's Tamar Bates in the corner for 3, and the crowd explodes, and it's now under 10.
It was a big shot for Indiana there. They're now 2 of 11 from 3, so obviously not their best performance from outside the arc. Got the crowd on their feet in here.
Next whistle is the under 12 timeout. 54-45 Michigan. Jet Howard at the free throw line. Wants to go down low to Hunter Dickinson. Now calls for isolation in the corner against Malik Renew. Drives baseline, backpedals, 10 on the shot clock. Hunter Dickinson at the free throw line, right elbow. Drives on Jackson Davis. Floats it up with the left, can't get it to go. Rebound to Renew in Indiana. Here come the Hoosiers. Hood-Schifino probing at the point. Defended tightly by McDaniel. Draws a Renew screen at the free throw line. Hood-Schifino can pull from anywhere. To the left wing. Tamar Bates, a left-handed three-point shot off the mark. Rebound out of bounds. Indiana basketball. Jet Howard goes immediately to the official on the near side of the floor to argue the call. But both officials pointed in Indiana's direction. Juwan Howard upset, but that's how it goes sometimes. Like that, so Michigan a 54-45 lead. 11:27 to play here in the second half. In a game, Michigan dire.
This game by any stretch of the imagination, especially with the team that's on the other side. And if you're Juwan Howard, you're saying, let's go. That's something we'll deal with as the certainly Michigan in a good spot, and I think Indiana. This crowd is ready to pop. They're ready to go. They're ready to, and just not a whole lot going for them.
And as you mentioned, that what is working for Michigan right now is the drive. It seems like when they're driving off the dribble, with everyone, really with the exception of Jet Howard, who outside of the early 2 fouls that he drew on Indiana, hasn't driven to the basket all that well here in the second half. But Doug McDaniel and Kobe Buffkin, especially Kobe, last couple weeks for him have been life-changing, to say the least, for number 2. But when he drives to the basket, good things are happening for Michigan, because he drives, he potentially draws 2 defenders, which, well, you draw 2, somebody's open, and it's been a 3-point try multiple times in the second half. So if Michigan can continue to draw multiple Indiana defenders once they get inside the paint, someone's going to be open, and late in this game, as you said, as the clock ticks closer to triple zeros, they're going to have to knock in those open shots. They're going to have to win this game.
Yeah, Buffkin, I think, he started the turnaround for Michigan, got some points, and the way he did it, like we've mentioned, attack the paint, get some easy buckets at the rim, a thunderous dunk, and then the drive and kick game has opened up, and Michigan's made shots, right? And I think that'll be their offensive MO going forward here.
Michigan, 8 minutes and 33 seconds into the second half, keeps the starters in. Trace Jackson-Davis immediately off of the inbound, drives and draws a foul. And Hunter Dickinson draws his third foul. Trace Jackson-Davis has led the Hoosiers in scoring in 15 of the last 17 ball games for Indiana. And he buries the first. Now 4 of 5 at the line today for TJD on his senior day. And he buries the second as well. The lead is 7, 54-47, a game Michigan needs. The winner gets a double bye in the Big Ten tournament. Kobe Buffkin cannot get the ball in. Timeout Michigan. And he got him. You might as well use him. Michigan will have 2 timeouts remaining with 11:24 to play here in the second half. So I like that by Kobe Buffkin. Borrow timeout and guarantee that Michigan still has possession.
Yeah, obviously you're not trying to use your timeouts on an inbound pass after a made basket here with 12 minutes left in the game. But as we mentioned, still 2 timeouts left for Michigan. A chance here for Jawan to get the guys together, figure out what they're doing on this inbound, because Indiana's gone to this heavy press where they double Doug off the inbound, leave Kobe alone, nobody guarding the inbound passer. So we'll see if Michigan can kind of draw something up to break that pressure and get into their offensive sets maybe a little bit quicker as well, because obviously that's what Indiana's trying to avoid by pressuring Michigan full court.
And at the short pause, Terrace Reed Jr. has checked in for Michigan. Hunter Dickinson to the bench. So it is McDaniel, Buffkin, Jet Howard, Reed, and Cheddar for the Wolverines against Hood-Schifino, Renew, Banks, Jackson, Davis, and Bates. McDaniel gets the inbound pass from Buffkin, right back to McDaniel. Michigan uses 10 seconds on the shot clock to break the press. And Jet Howard, pinwheeling, hands the ball off to Kobe Buffkin at the point, draws a Reed screen. He drives with his left. Kobe Buffkin, a left elbow jumper. That is down and pure for number 2 in blue.
Got to that elbow again and just rise and fire, and it's one of those shots that NBA scouts love to see from this young player.
That's what's scaring a lot of Michigan fans right now. Into contact, Jackson Davis floats it off the backboard and then dunks it in. And Jackson Davis should have just gotten called for a tech as he grabbed the ball and threw it away. Which is technically, that's a delay of game call that we usually see in this game. Nonetheless, Michigan's got the basketball up 7. Kobe Buffkin around a screen, draws another one from Terrace Reed. At the right wing, probing, Kobe Buffkin, looking for somewhere to go. Back to McDaniel, 10 on the shot clock for the Maize and Blue. Will Cheddar, back to McDaniel, top of the key to Buffkin, right wing. That's a deep 3 for Kobe, off the front of the rim, rebound Cheddar. Into the corner, Jet Howard for 3, off the rim. Rebound for Terrace Reed, 2 offensive rebounds for the Maize and Blue on this possession. 10 minutes and some change in the second half, and what is a massive game for Michigan. Doug McDaniel on the screen, pull-up jumper, got it to go! 3 points for Doug McDaniel, and the lead is back to 10.
Some big-time pull-up threes in the second half from Doug McDaniel. Not really his game, but making them count when they matter the most.
Hood-Schifino drives, offensive foul, going against Indiana, and Michigan will have the basketball going the other way.
And that's another aspect of Buffkin's game that's developed so much. The ability to move his feet, keep Hood-Schifino in front of him, get that body in front of there, take that charge, and earn another possession for the Wolverines.
Yeah, it was on a screen, too, from Jalen Hood-Schifino. That's his 3rd personal foul. They will keep him in the game. Hunter Dickinson has checked in, and the Wolverines will go with that 2 big lineup that we've seen quite a bit in recent weeks. Will Cheddar to the bench, Terrace Reed and Hunter Dickinson in the game. So you got to watch out for that matchup right now. Terrace Reed against Malik Renew, and then Jackson Davis and Dickinson. Michigan with a 10-point edge right now. Kobe Buffkin holding onto the ball, triple threat possession at the right wing. Back to the right wing from Buffkin, from Dickinson. Jet Howard drives, left baseline, off the glass, too strong. Rebound Jackson Davis. He's got to make those, doesn't he?
Yeah, certainly does. Got there going left with his right hand, a little tough, but.
Jackson Davis, beautiful pass down low to Malik Renew, went up one time, blocked a second time, but a foul coming against Michigan, and if that's Dickinson, that's his fourth. But the call goes against Terrace Reed. There was an audible awe from the crowd here in Bloomington because that would have been a big-time call if it went against Hunter Dickinson. Would have been his fourth, and he would have been on the bench until under the fourth timeout.
Well, Indiana crowd not happy with the no call on the first block by Dickinson, but second call certainly on Reed, junior there.
Malik Renew throws at 69% on the year. The lefty fires the first, hits back iron and falls down. So the lead is 9. Michigan has been called for 7 fouls, Indiana 5. Wolverines lead it 59-50. Renew's second is good. So Caleb Banks made a short appearance in this game. He will go to the bench. Miller Kopp, the starter, will check back in. And the crowd here at Assembly Hall rises to their feet to urge their team on defensively. Mike Woodson with that group trying to get them on their feet. Michigan trying to get the ball in. Jet Howard on the near side of the floor comes to it and grabs it. Doug McDaniel will jog into the front court for the Maize and Blue. 9:05 to play here in Bloomington. Doug McDaniel around a screen. Top of the key for McDaniel now. Throws it up. Can't get it to go, but a foul called.
Excellent job by Doug. He's shown some more patience on the dribble drive today than we've seen in previous games, waiting for things to open up and use that quickness to get to that right block and get to his spot and throw up the soft little floater, draw the foul.
Doug McDaniel has 8 points. A chance to put himself in the double digits with 2 free throws here. He's played 28 minutes today and has made 2 clutch 3-pointers here in the second half, and he bricks the first one off the back of the rim. The foul went against Malik Renew. That was the first personal foul on him. So Hood Schifino has 3. Tamar Bates has 2, and that's really the foul trouble on the floor right now for Indiana. On the floor for Michigan, it's just Hunter Dickinson. He has 3. Doug McDaniel has 2. But he plays some pretty clean defense for the Wolverines. The second one is pure. So it's a 9-point deficit for Indiana. Hood Schifino into the offense for the Hoosiers and gives away to Trace Jackson Davis. Wanted to go back door, but instead Tamar Bates at the left wing. Now 10 feet outside the 3-point arc, picks up his dribble and hands to Trace Jackson Davis. Attacks Dickinson into a lot of contact, blocked away by both Reed and Dickinson. No foul called, and here comes Michigan across the timeline. Kobe Buffkin jabs away from Hood Schifino, tosses it up to Terrace Reed. It goes out of bounds, Indiana basketball.
A couple times Michigan guards have tried flipping up a lob to Terrace Reed, but both times Indiana's defended them relatively well. Would like to see Buffkin just flip that up at the basket as a shot attempt.
And as you mentioned moments ago, this Indiana crowd is just buzzing to go electric here. High on the right post for Trace Jackson Davis. Outside to Miller Kopp. He's a great 3-point shooter. Pump fakes 2 away, fires a 3. There it is. They needed one to go, and they got one. And you can almost bet this crowd is not going to leave their feet for the next 8 minutes. Doug McDaniel around a Dickinson screen. Back to his left hand. Doug probing. Doug throws outside. Dangerous pass. Dickinson to the right wing for Kobe Buffkin. Pump fakes. He'll take a 3-pointer. Kobe off the back rim. Tamar Bates grabs it, and here comes Indiana. Waiting on the under 8 timeout. Jackson Davis floats it away. Hits the front of the rim. It was meant to be a lob. Tamar Bates drives with his right. His offhand off the window. Shot missed. Rebound to Michigan. And there's a foul called coming against the Hoosiers. And Michigan is in the bonus. But we are at a media timeout. So we don't know who the Michigan shooter will be quite yet. We will have to get that to you once we resume play. But for now, Michigan leads at 60-54 here in Bloomington after a big Miller Kopp 3-pointer to bring Indiana with. So what do you think, Dan? This message from Juwan Howard to his huddle with 7:35 showing on the clock. What do you think?
Oh, here we go, right? You just mentioned Michigan in the bonus. got to make your free throws, right? They're called free for a reason. Good chances to add up some points and maintain momentum throughout a game. It's easy. Basketball is a game of runs, right? But the ability to get to the free throw line on any foul allows Michigan to kind of break up Indiana runs if they happen. And then I think if you're Juwan Howard, that means that you tell your guys to be aggressive attacking the rim, right? I think we'll see a lot of Dickinson in the post these last few minutes, even some of Terrace Reed, although I don't think Indiana would mind sending Reed to the line a little bit if he starts to get some momentum offensively. But I think that's his message is get to the rim, get to the line. Let's see if we can get into that double bonus and shoot a lot of free throws these next couple minutes to kind of reestablish our footing in this game and find our offensive identity for this critical 7-minute stretch here.
And I'll tell you what, it's a little frustrating for Michigan offensively when the guards are allowing the opportunity. Remember what I said, drive, draw the double team, that gets the big away from the other big. And then there's the opportunity for not only a three-point shot somewhere on the floor, but also the lob. Michigan's tried the lob 2 different times now. And both times, Terrace Reed, instead of dunking it, has tried to grab it and then lost the handle.
Yeah, they've certainly had some off the screen. I think he's there at the top of the key for the 3. He's knocked that shot down more consistently as the season's gone along. And I mean, we're going to see Bufkin, McDaniel, Dickinson, and Jet Howard for the majority, probably the rest of these 7.5 minutes. So I'd expect some Dickinson pick and pop threes because Indiana's giving him that, especially with Doug being able to get into the lane and as well as he has in the second half.
I mean, Dan, we look down to the floor, and only 6 different Wolverines have their shooter shirts off. It's the starting 5, 7 if you include Joey Baker.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of Baker the second half, if at all.
He's going to check in right now.
Will Shedder gave them some excellent minutes to start that second half.
He just faked us out. Joey Baker back to the bench. But we have not seen Terrence Williams II. We have not seen Jace Howard or any of the other Wolverines. Typically, Michigan runs with 9 players. And sending him to the line, it's going to be Terrace Reed. He's 0 for 1 today. Everyone knows the story on old Terrace. Michigan leading by 6. This is a 1-and-1 for Terrace Reed. The first is off the back of the rim. Rebound to Indiana. And you got to make your free throws. Terrace only shoots at 40% on the season. That's going to dip again. In the near corner, Hood-Schifino, bottom right corner of the court right now. Race Thompson inside the paint, being defended by Reed, trying to play straight up defense, backs his way down, floats it up with the right, gets a friendly roll, and the lead is just 4.
That was really good defense from Terrace Reed Jr., but Race Thompson just got the home court touch off the rim there. And
Doug McDaniel draws a screen from Dickinson, drives down low, floats it up, can't get the shot to go. Reed fumbled it on the floor, Michigan and Indiana. And it's a jump ball, but the Hoosiers have possession. I mean, they are missing bunnies right now. Jet Howard missed one a couple minutes ago. Doug McDaniel missed one there. And Terrace Reed had a chance to throw that one down again, but he fumbled it.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute scoring drought here for Michigan. That's going to extend at least another Indiana possession, but we've seen them struggle to close out games at times, and we're starting to see them lose their foothold of this game here.
Hood-Schifino in the near corner. Dumps to Trace Jackson-Davis at the right elbow. He draws Dickinson. He's got 3 fouls. Nice pass down low. Dunked and one. Race Thompson off an assist from Trace Jackson-Davis. And Michigan folding right now. They had a 12-point lead. And all of a sudden, it's been cut to 2 with a chance to be sliced down to 1. The foul is against Kobe Bufkin. That's his second. And the crowd that's already on their feet has a chance to get even louder if Race Thompson is able to make this free throw.
It was an overhelp from Terrace Reed Jr. I thought Dickinson was in good position, and even with those 3 fouls, but Reed Jr. left his man Thompson alone underneath.
Free throw up and good for Race Thompson. He's got 14. Here comes the crowd. Indiana will back off the press. The lead is 1 for Michigan. Moments ago, it was 12. Doug McDaniel, long pass to Hunter Dickinson at the right elbow. Defended tightly by Jackson-Davis. Kobe Bufkin around a screen. Back to Jet Howard at the point. Jett all the way back to half court now. Jett picks up his dribble to Kobe Buffkin at the left wing. 7 on the shot clock for Kobe Buffkin. Between the legs dribble. Turns away. Nowitzki type fadeaway for him. Off the back iron. Hunter Dickinson grabs a rebound and one. I mean, that's a tough fadeaway for Kobe Buffkin, but a shot he had to take because of the shot clock. And the foul goes against Trey Galloway. The Indiana crowd wants a foul against Hunter.
Just an excellent play from Dickinson. Obviously crashing the glass after a rough offensive possession for the Wolverines. And Dickinson kept the ball up, as they teach all big men to do, so that the little pesky guards can't take it away from him. And got slapped across the arm and knocked it in. Big free throw up here for Michigan, trying to regain some momentum at the free throw line, but also extend that lead back to 4.
We've got a momentary pause in the action because Trey Galloway just fouled out. So that is it for the redshirt sophomore from Culver, Indiana. He scored 4 points against Michigan back on February 11th, and he matches that total today, 4 points, as he goes to the bench, and Tamar Bates checks in. So Michigan by 3. Hunter Dickinson a chance to make it 4. Free throw up, free throw good. 6:11 to play in Bloomington. Michigan, so much on the line, but this game is for the double bye also in the Big Ten tournament for both the Hoosiers and the Wolverines. Jalen Hood-Schifino to the right wing, now Tamar Bates handling it. Almost cut off, Terrace Reed Jr. defends Thompson. Back to Hood-Schifino, the freshman phenom from Pittsburgh. Holding it at the right elbow. Down low on the right now for Trace Jackson Davis. Draws a double team back outside Hood-Schifino. Tamar Bates, a straightaway three-point try. Pure. Michigan gets 3. Indiana counters right back with a triple of their own. 5:30 and some change here from Assembly Hall. Michigan 63-62. Doug McDaniel around a Dickinson screen. Holding it with his left. Back outside to Dickinson. Tipped away. No foul. Dickinson outside. Jett Howard pump fakes a 3. Doug McDaniel pump fakes a 3. Down low Dickinson. Does not draw a foul. Terrace Reed Jr. the offensive rebound. And he missed the shot, but Indiana grabs the rebound. A chance for the Hoosiers to take the lead here. Jalen Hood-Schifino probing to Race Thompson. One-on-one with Terrace Reed at the right wing. Hood-Schifino back out at the logo. Back door, Trace Jackson Davis misses a shot. Rebound to Dickinson after a slight bobble.
It was an excellent play by Buffkin, rotating into that lane and tried to draw the charge. Not enough contact there, but I think that threw Jackson Davis off.
One of the last 7 for the Maize and Blue. Doug McDaniel drives, now backs it out across the logo. Floats it up, misses. Terrace Reed misses a throwback. Now he gets it back one more time and gets it to go with the left. I mean, back and forth we go here in Bloomington. 3-point lead for Michigan. What a game we've had here today. Indiana at 1 point, a double-digit lead. Michigan at 1 point, a double-digit lead. So much on the line for both teams. Trace Jackson Davis, one-on-one with Hunter Dickinson, who has 3 fouls, low on the left. Jackson Davis spins with his left hand, floats it up, cannot get it to go. Tamar Bates follows and misses. Out of bounds it goes. Michigan basketball. Tamar Bates had a wide-open layup, and he point-blank missed it.
It's a bailout for Doug McDaniel as he points up to the sky as a little apology there. He did not box out Tamar Bates, who came flying in there to try and tip it up and in, and Michigan lucky that the follow from Bates didn't quite go.
Likely the next whistle we have will be the under 4 timeout. 4:05 on the clock. Indiana will back off their press. 65-62 Maize and Blue. Will Cheddar at the point. Almost had it stolen away by Race Thompson. He sprints into the backcourt, and Will Cheddar will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws after the Race Thompson timeout. Boy, he took a cookie away from Will Cheddar, and luckily Cheddar got the call, and he will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, I don't think that's exactly what Juwan Howard wants Will Cheddar doing in offensive possessions, dribbling around at the top of the key, but he's provided some excellent energy, some excellent minutes, especially on the defensive end here in this half, so that's why he's in the game. But These are the moments that Michigan has struggled. People have looked to Jawan, some blame on him for his inability to draw up some plays, and guys have certainly taken a lot of heat for their inability to make some shots down the stretch of these games. This is where NBA guys like Buffkin, Jet Howard, maybe even Hunter Dickinson one day have to continue to make big plays. And I think if you're Michigan, you continue to get the ball into Dickinson as much as possible, and then if the double comes, play from there and see what good looks you can create off of that.
With the last now giving himself a double-double for the day with 19 and 10. Doug McDaniel leads the way with assists with 4. But here we are again, Dan. You called the game against Indiana on February 11th. A game that Michigan led by 3 with under 4 minutes to play. They are now back up by 3. This time in the unfriendly confines of Bloomington in Assembly Hall, a legendary arena where Michigan has beaten Indiana every single time they have played here since 2015. And now the Wolverines with a chance to get their biggest win on their resume just before the NCAA tournament. This one you have to close out.
Certainly need to, right? And mentioned starts with, I think, getting the ball to Dickinson in the post on offense, and then defensively communicating, talking. Right, defensively, the Indiana crowd is going to be loud, but mostly when you are on offense, which means you should be able to hear each other on the defensive end. Energy's got to be high. Effort's got to be high as you try and close out this game. Should be some good rotations, everybody flying around, knowing where they're going. This is my one concern if you're the Wolverines is your main guys have played a lot of minutes now in 2 straight games. Buffkin's at 34 minutes, Jet Howard's at 34 minutes, McDaniel's at 33 minutes. In crunch time moments, playing a lot of basketball can wear on you. Messes with your mental abilities, your ability to handle pressure, and we'll see how Michigan deals with it. It's still a very young team, but this is an excellent opportunity to get that statement win as we've talked about, and really increase their tournament chances.
You figure for Indiana, with 3:55 to go, this offense continues to run through Trace Jackson-Davis.
Certainly. Hood Schifino hasn't quite had it today, obviously. He's been in a little bit of foul trouble, but Miller Kopp as well, only 1 of 5 from 3, although he did hit his last 3. I think he could be a guy that, knocks down a big shot for Indiana. But Race Thompson's also had an excellent day on the offensive end with 14 points. So I think he played through Jackson-Davis. Michigan's been sending a double. I think you then play off that double and see what it gets you. But I'll tell you, I don't think Buffkin's leaving Hood Schifino. So if he's gonna score in this down the stretch, it'll be in some one-on-one stuff for Hood Schifino.
3:55 to play here from Assembly Hall in Bloomington. Race Thompson fouled Will Cheddar. He throws at 57% on the year for 1-1. The free throw is missed. Offensive rebound, Hunter Dickinson. He's got his 11th. 19 points, 11 boards, a double-double for the big man in maize and blue. Doug McDaniel controls at the point for Michigan. A screen from Dickinson to Dickinson now at the top of the key. Kobe Buffkin pinwheeling around a screen. Kobe drives to the baseline, draws a double team, picks up his dribble, back to Dickinson, back to Buffkin, now right wing. That's a shot clock violation. Michigan had 0 idea that it was coming. Great defense there from Indiana, and with 3:30 and some change remaining, Michigan holding on to a 3-point lead.
Seems like Michigan's trying to get Dickinson in pick and rolls at the moment. Maybe to set up, get him in the post. I think next time they just go straight to Dickinson in the post, get something to get him down there in the post, and then run your offense through that.
Scoring drought of over 2 minutes for IU. Right elbow, Trace Jackson-Davis. He's got a jump shot, has not used it today. Spins against Dickinson, that's a free layup.
Dickinson's been giving him that baseline, and Jackson-Davis hasn't taken it yet in the second half. Took it there, and a big-time bucket for the Hoosiers.
He dared him to go to his right, and he did. Speaking of going to his right, Doug McDaniel does. Trace Jackson-Davis steals it away from Dickinson, throws it off McDaniel's foot, and it's out of bounds. Kobe Buffkin looks to his Wolverine squad, says, let's go. Come on, fellas. I think that's the message from almost everyone right now. That's got a block M on their chest. 65-64, 3 minutes to play here in Bloomington. Hood Schifino against Buffkin. Now to the right wing, one-on-one Dickinson, Trace Jackson Davis. Jackson Davis drives, scoops, and scores. That kid's something else, isn't he?
Certainly was. What an up and under move, a little bit English with the left hand, gets the roll, and big time from Jackson Davis.
Big time friendly roll here at Assembly Hall. 24th and 25th points for TJD. Right wing Doug McDaniel. Kobe Buffkin left wide open at the point, and he misses the three-pointer. In and out it goes. Race Thompson grabs down the rebound. 2:30 to play. Pucciafino scurries into the front court. He's got 10. Hunter Dickinson trying to guard Trace Jackson Davis. They're going to go one-on-one again. This is what we love to watch here in Bloomington. Low on the left. Jackson Davis spins again. Blocked away by Dickinson. Rebounded by Kobe Buffkin. He is trapped. Gets it away to Dickinson. Here comes Michigan with Doug McDaniel. 2 minutes on the clock. Seems like time is just melting away in what has been a fantastic basketball game. Cheddar gives McDaniel a screen. To Jet Howard, left wing. Decides not to take a three. This crowd's into it. Kobe Buffkin pump fakes from the right wing. Drives, throws it up, cannot throw it in, but he is fouled, and he will go to the line thanks to a Miller Kopp foul. 1:46 on the clock. Dan, let's remind you of what's at stake for Michigan here. Not only the double bye for both teams in the Big Ten tournament starting on Wednesday, but also for Michigan, likely their lives with hopes to go to the NCAA tournament. Kobe Buffkin at the line to shoot two for Michigan, and a chance to give the Maize and Blue a lead. He wears 2 in blue. Trace Jackson Davis tries to pump up the crowd, and Kobe buries the first one. This game is tied at 66. A reminder, Michigan just played a 50-minute basketball game in Champaign 4 days ago in the loss against Illinois. Will Cheddar to the bench, and Terrace Reed onto the floor. Timeout Mike Woodson in Indiana. They will have 1 remaining. Michigan has 2. 1 more foul to find themselves in the double bonus. Michigan has committed 8. On the floor right now, McDaniel, Dickinson, Buffkin, Howard, and Reed. Hunter Dickinson leads the way with 19, followed by Kobe with 18, Jet with 16. On the floor for Indiana, Pucciafino, Kopp, Jackson Davis, Thompson, and Bates. And Trace Jackson Davis, in his last go-around here in Assembly Hall, has put in 25 points. When he played against Michigan back on February 11th, Trace Jackson Davis had another heck of a game. 28 points, 11 rebounds. Today he has snatched down 9, so he is 1 away from a double-double. He's just a heck of a player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been awesome here in the second half, going right at Dickinson. He knows Dickinson's in foul trouble, and he's finally taken that baseline avenue that Dickinson's offered him here in this game, but Dickinson shut that down really well on that last possession. Used that length of his. He's a little bit bigger than Jackson Davis. Used those long arms, swatted away, and you know, big free throws upcoming here for Buffkin. Obviously knocked down the first, but Michigan as a team, 10 of 16 from the line. Indiana 12 of 14. Those be 2 key statistics kind of look out for here down the stretch. And
Kobe is 3 for 3, and on the season he shoots 83%, which leads the way for Michigan. I mean, why not, right, Dan? This is the kind of game we love to call, fans love to watch, although you might have to sweat it out.
Certainly the game Michigan has liked to play this season. They've been in a lot of these. A lot of these.
Michigan has not scored a field goal in just under 3 minutes. This crowd is about to be as loud as they possibly can be to distract Kobe Buffkin, the sophomore from Grand Rapids. And he just gets the second one. He rattled it in. And here comes Indiana. 1:45 on the clock. Michigan 67, Indiana 66. The final back in February was Indiana 62-61. But Jafino at the point. Michigan a zone defense. Down low pass to Trace Jackson Davis. But there is a foul called. Michigan triple teamed him. So pick somebody. The foul goes against Jet Howard.
Yeah, Michigan came out in a 2-3 zone there to try and throw Indiana off, and it was kind of a lobbed pass into the middle of the zone. You saw 3 guys kind of collapse, ball bouncing around. Michigan gets called for a foul.
Jackson Davis shoots at 68.5%. He misses the front end of the 1-and-1. So 1:30 to play, 90 seconds here in Bloomington. Michigan has not scored a field goal in over 3 minutes now.
See if
Doug
the Wolverines
McDaniel wants to go to Kobe Buffkin at the right wing. Down low, Hunter Dickinson. He's got the left hook there, and he got it to go. It looked like it was going to roll off the front of the rim, and Hunter Dickinson gives Michigan a 3-point lead with 1:10 to play. Hood-Schifino looking for somewhere to go. Gets around McDaniel. Now step back, fire three, got it.
Interesting defensive choice for Michigan, sticking with that zone and a 3-point lead. Dickinson had to play off of Hood-Schifino after they switched the pick and roll, and Hood-Schifino made him pay.
He shoots at a strong 35% from three, and Juwan Howard will call timeout on the far sideline, left side. 69 all in Bloomington. 44 seconds to play. Michigan and Indiana pretty much guaranteed a possession apiece. Who wants to come away with this one here from Assembly Hall? And if you're Juwan Howard, Dan, who exactly do you go to on this last possession?
It's tough. I think you go to Dickinson, right? I think you try and get him on the block and you tell him to go quickly. Michigan should get this shot up before about 35 or 36 seconds on the clock, so that if they don't get the basket here and Indiana comes down and scores, they save themselves some time to have another opportunity to get a basket. They do have an additional timeout, but it would be something quick. I'd say McDaniel and then some down screens for Dickinson. Try and get him on the block, get him to that left hand in the middle of the lane. Just made a shot from there. That's the spot that I'd be going if I was Juwan Howard.
I mean, so much at stake for Michigan in this game. Look at the opportunity to have the double bye in the Big Ten tournament. Now, a lot of people, they want Michigan to play on Thursday, which, to be honest, Dan, I wouldn't be opposed to either. Not only is it more for WCBN to cover, it's also another chance for Michigan to put one more game on their resume, obviously, if they can win that game on Thursday in Chicago. Because then Friday, if you do get the double bye, you're likely going to be the 3 seed. And you're going to draw a pretty good team on Friday because at that point, you're already down to 8 teams.
Right. And for Michigan, it seems like 2 wins likely secures their spot in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, that would have to be determined. A win here would go a long way for that. Obviously, a loss here, they'd be hanging on by a thread. But certainly possible in the Big Ten tournament, given how many quality teams there are. But massive possession here for Michigan. Let's see what Juwan Howard is drawn up. Drew up a pretty good play for Baker in that double overtime game against Illinois. Let's see what he's got drawn up here.
23 seconds on the shot clock, 44 on the game clock. 69-69, Michigan and Indiana. Doug McDaniel at the right wing. A handoff to Kobe Buffkin around a Dickinson screen. Steps back, down low, Hunter Dickinson. Draws a double team, Race Thompson strips it away. Indiana 2-on-1. Thompson into contact, floats it up, missed it. Rebound, Michigan. 23 seconds to go. Michigan has 1 timeout left, and they are going to call it. Jet Howard over to McDaniel, and no, they will not call it. He was right in front of Juwan Howard, and there it is. They will call a timeout with 13 seconds to go from Bloomington. I mean, are you kidding me? Race Thompson stole it away from Dickinson. Coast to coast he went, and he missed the layup.
Yeah.
It was contested by Kobe Buffkin, but he's got to make that.
It was an excellent contest from Kobe Buffkin. Kept it. You could see he was trying to measure it up, kept his arms straight up, went as vertically as he could, and as an athlete, he did an excellent job of making that difficult for Thompson. You could see the hustle from Jet Howard on the other side. This game means a lot to both teams. And obviously, a moment like that for Thompson, an opportunity to win the game, or at least put Indiana in the lead with 15 to 13 seconds left on the clock, would have been massive. And now it's up to the Wolverines. One more shot here to finally close the game out for them.
So who do you go to, Dan? I asked you a minute ago. They went to Hunter, and they had it stripped away.
I think you go to Hunter again. I like Buffkin coming off the screen, going to his left. That seems to be one of the best sources of offense. And then on the other side, I'd like a little back screen for Jet Howard in case, the Dickinson-Buffkin dynamic isn't quite working out there, because Jet Howard's a shot maker and a shot creator. We'll see what they get to here.
13 seconds to play. It's Doug McDaniel off the point. Dribbling with his left. Looking for a screen to Jet Howard. 7 to go. Jet draws a Hunter Dickinson screen to Hunter. Fires away a 3. He missed it. Rebound to Race Thompson. And with .1 to go, it looks like Indiana called timeout.
Yeah.
I mean, the draw up. It was a lot of probing and not much basketball.
Yeah, it seemed like it was, we're going to put Dickinson in the post and we're going to get him the ball, and that didn't quite work. Indiana shut that down pretty well. I would have liked to see some more motion, especially if you're going to take a timeout to draw something up. Can't complain too much about the end look. I mean, Dickinson had a 3, some smaller guys contesting at him. Indiana will have to go the length of the court here. I imagine they put a little bit more time on the clock.
Yeah, Race Thompson ripped it down and immediately called timeout, which was a good call for him.
But certainly headed for more free basketball, and for this Wolverine team, ton of minutes these last few games, and looks like they're going to keep coming.
Well, at least that's the hope for right now for a Michigan team that has now seen 0.6 seconds be added to the clock. So you kind of figure Indiana will likely throw a lob the length of the court.
Yeah.
Likely to Trace Jackson Davis.
Yeah, this is catch and shoot. A dribble, and you're probably out of time here. So catch, maybe a pivot step, and then fire for Indiana. I'd imagine, Michigan's got Terrace Reed way back and Dickinson guarding the inbounds to knock the ball down.
To put into perspective, Hunter Dickinson had 1.7 seconds when he took the shot against Wisconsin last Sunday, 7 days ago. So 0.7 on the clock, tie ball game here in Bloomington. Race Thompson, long pass, Trace Jackson Davis puts it up from half court. Off the rim and no good. Oh boy, in and out it went. Bloomington put 5-9 all, Michigan and Indiana from Bloomington. I mean, an exhale is all you can do now. I mean, Trace Jackson Davis nearly put that thing in from half court, just around Kobe Buffkin. Jet Howard bends over and looks up to the heavens after the shot. We've got 5 more.
Had to look good from half court, obviously tracking right at it. Just hit a little too high on that backboard to go in, but man, Michigan living on the edges again, and some more basketball for them. I don't like the way those last couple offensive chances for Michigan ended. I don't think any Michigan fan can. And you'd like to see their defense be able to get them out in transition and get some easy buckets for them to start this overtime. Kind of regain some momentum, regain some confidence. Because it seems like offensively, at least, Indiana's mitigated Michigan's opportunities and really made them one-dimensional.
So it's tied 69-69. And we'll now welcome Kelin Flynn onto the broadcast. Kelin did a great job in the first half, and also you've obviously been troubleshooting some technical difficulties this whole game. The Ethernet cord here in Bloomington, unfortunately, not working for us. So
we've been fighting with the internet. I think we finally got a solution figured out. Hopefully, this has been okay. The quality of the stream has been okay, but I mean, the quality of this game has been unreal. Michigan down the stretch, it seems like, is in a tight game later, an overtime game every other night. But I do want to bring this stat to everyone's attention that was posted by Zach Shaw on Twitter. This was back in mid-February, and I believe with the Illinois loss, the Wolverines are now 0-13, or excuse me, are 1-10 when they could draw up a final play to tie or win the game in the last 4 years. The lone win being an OT win versus Oakland.
So 5 minutes on the clock, 69-69. Terrace Reed Jr. will jump against Trace Jackson Davis. Will Cheddar jumped to begin the game. That's the first time all season that anyone not named Hunter Dickinson took the jump ball for the Wolverines. And Will won that jump against Jackson Davis. And Terrace Reed won it. McDaniel fumbled it, and Indiana controls. 5th overtime game of the season for Michigan. They are 2-2. And the 3rd consecutive overtime game played for Michigan. Race Thompson wanted to go down low, does not, at the left elbow. Dribbles inside with the right against Hunter Dickinson. Turns around, floats it up over the big man, and gets a friendly roll. Indiana, early 71-69 in OT.
And Indiana with all the momentum coming into overtime. Michigan had an excellent chance to win that in regulation. Got to try to put a team like Indiana away on the road.
Jed Howard into the corner now for Terrace Reed. Doug McDaniel dribbles to Jed Howard, left wing. Short pass, Kobe Buffkin draws a Dickinson screen at the point. Kobe drives with the left, floats it up with the left. No friendly roll. Rebound to Race Thompson after it was smacked off the glass by Jackson Davis. Race Thompson at the left wing almost walked into a three-pointer. The short pass is knocked away by Terrace Reed out of bounds. Jackson Davis was the intended recipient.
And Race Thompson almost walked into a travel there. That one was close. Shuffled his feet there.
So 4:03 on the clock now. 57 seconds have raced it by in the extra period of basketball. Indiana has not played an overtime game this season. This is their first, and it just happens to be on Senior Day, their last home game of the year. Hood-Schifino, low on the left now for Race Thompson against Dickinson. He has 3 fouls, got to be careful. Long pass, Hood-Schifino, 10 on the timer. He's got Terrace Reed on him, and he dribble drives, floats it up off the backboard, not even close. Hunter Dickinson rips down the rebound. Here comes Michigan with Doug McDaniel, a chance to tie or take the lead. McDaniel to Jed Howard. He had Kobe Buffkin open for a moment down on the block and missed him. Dickinson at the left wing. Kobe Buffkin probing. Buffkin wanted a 3, does not take the 3. Over to the left wing, he drives. Short pass to Doug McDaniel, 10 on the timer. Got to be careful here. Doug drives. Doug finds contact. Doug knocked away. Doug into the left wing. Kobe Buffkin puts up a 3. It's off the rim, and the rebound is to Miller Kopp and IU. Just a sloppy possession for Michigan. They don't have any idea where they're going, it seems like.
And it seems like there's really no offense. It's can Kobe Buffkin get by his man? If not, there's nothing.
Race Jackson Davis against Terrace Reed Jr. He's reaching a lot, isn't he? A lot of contact down low. Jackson Davis finally gets some space, and he's fouled.
And Jackson Davis, we've seen him go to that reverse layup a lot all season and all game.
He's so lengthy, and he does it with ease, it seems like.
He's so smooth with the basketball. We've seen him catch the ball on the wing and then size up other big men with his handle. He's just so fluid and when he moves and dribbles.
He's really athletic with it. Game high 8th free throw attempt for Trace Jackson Davis falls through. So this is now the biggest Indiana lead since 3 minutes remaining in the first half. 72-69 IU. The second free throw is up and it rattles in. That friendly Assembly Hall bounce has worked out a couple of times today for Indiana. So it's a 4-point lead for the Hoosiers. 2:50 showing on the clock, and this crowd is very much into it. Michigan has had no offense at all. 0 points in the overtime period. Doug McDaniel, a crafty dribble, gets around Hood-Schifino, throws it up, it's blocked. And Michigan wants that bucket to count. I think it should have, too. That was really close. Hood-Schifino backpedals into the offense. I mean, that was close off the glass, was it not?
It was, and it's one of those bang-bang that's really tough to call.
Miller Kopp, a corner 3, foul. Kobe Buffkin for Michigan, trailing by 6. They mark that as a 2-pointer, not a 3. So 2:10 to go. Michigan has not scored in overtime. Indiana has all 6. There's a Hunter Dickinson screen. Kobe Buffkin to Dickinson. He will try a right wing 3 and hit it. Much needed for Michigan, a breath of fresh air as they try to come from behind.
That gives you life.
Hood-Schifino being defended tightly by Kobe Buffkin. Let's see how Terrace Reed can do against Trace Jackson Davis this time. Backpedaling his way down from the right wing. With the left. He goes with the left. Floats it up. No friendly roll this time. And the ball goes out of bounds. Michigan basketball. And the officials are immediately going to go to official review. Doug McDaniel slipped on the near side of the floor. Like, he completely hit the deck.
And it was tight. Him and Miller Kopp both going after the basketball. McDaniel clearly let up, thinking it was last touched by one of the Hoosiers. So it'll be interesting to see what the call is. Again, call on the floor was Michigan basketball.
Bonus, both teams have one timeout. 1:31 to go from Bloomington as the officials take a look on the monitor, which is on the far side of the floor.
McDaniel did not touch it on his approach.
He didn't touch it at all. And then he slipped completely, goes out of bounds, and a fan touched it first. So that's going to be Michigan basketball. It should be. Miller Kopp touched it. Doug McDaniel. Doesn't seem like he touched it, Kelin, right?
The only chance would be off the initial tip. McDaniel definitely did not touch it as he was chasing after the basketball. I don't think Kopp did either. We'll see if we get another look at off the initial.
Yeah, it would have been odd for Doug to touch it because of the way that it bounced after the initial contact. It was out of bounds on the near sideline, right side of the floor. Miller Kopp was facing that way, Doug McDaniel facing the other, and it bounced in this direction towards us and went out of bounds. And it looked like Doug may have touched it when he landed. However, a fan touched it first, which is out of bounds, and there's the official call of Michigan basketball, and that's the right call.
And that's the call on the floor. There wasn't really indisputable evidence to overturn that.
I'll tell you what, I would have liked another look at that goaltend, potential goaltend, but either way, this officiating crew today has been really good. They've been really good today.
You got to give the officials credit. It's easy to drag on them when the calls aren't going your way, but
now, there have been your typical boo birds here and there, but nonetheless, Michigan basketball trailing by 3 with 90 seconds to play in Bloomington first overtime period. Wolverines have the basketball dressed in their dark blue uniforms today. Doug McDaniel trying to grab a Buffkin screen. Draws a Dickinson screen out the point. Back to Buffkin. About 4 feet outside the three-point arc, top of the key. Michigan has 13 on the shot clock. Down low pass, Hunter Dickinson on the right. Sizes up Jackson Davis. Spins around, blocked away. On the floor it goes. Terrace Reed Jr. grabs the rebound. Michigan back into the offense. 60 seconds to go. Terrace Reed floats up a 3 and misses because the shot clock expired. Under a minute to go. Michigan trailing by 3. They need a defensive stop here. Kobe Buffkin is the first to meet Jalen Hood-Schifino.
Need a stop here.
15 on the timer. They want to go to Jackson Davis one-on-one with Dickinson. Instead, it's Hood-Schifino controlling. 10 on the timer. Therese Thompson, top of the key. He's got to go. Jackson Davis, 5. 4 on the timer. Backing down Dickinson. Turns, floats it away, misses. The rebound to Jet Howard. Michigan trails by 3. They have a timeout left, and they're going to call it.
And Zach, we've seen in this situation, Hunter Dickinson hit a couple of big threes for the Wolverines in the last couple of games.
We saw Joey Baker have 2 opportunities in the game on Thursday against Illinois to tie it. And he missed both of them. Hunter Dickinson, a chance to win it at the buzzer, or just before the buzzer, that is, in regulation here, and he missed it. He had the opportunity against Wisconsin, and obviously he buried it 7 days ago. Jet Howard's had multiple opportunities, and he has, unfortunately for him, he's a great shooter. He just hasn't been able to find bottom on those kind of shots. Virginia, one of them. Indiana, another.
And Virginia, that shot was, thinking back to that game all the way back in November, that was a really well-defended play by the Cavaliers.
Clark. Seems like forever ago, though, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And the roller coaster of a season that it's been for Michigan basketball, the high expectations, and then some real big bumps in the road in November and December, and then the climb back upwards in January and February and now into March as Michigan with a chance at the big dance.
No, I'll tell you what. We haven't seen Kobe get a chance at a shot at the end of a game yet. He tried to take it against Wisconsin, but it got blocked. Doug McDaniel's had 2 off-the-dribble threes in the second half today. So maybe do one of those guys get the chance, because likely Terrace Reed Jr. will not be the guy shooting the three for Michigan off the call. And inbound pass to Doug McDaniel, and here we go. Kobe Buffkin, a screen from Jet Howard. Kobe, down low, Hunter Dickinson, stripped away by Race Thompson. 15 seconds to go. Jalen Hood-Schifino now with it, and he is fouled by Doug McDaniel, and that just might do it, Kelin.
I'm just not sure what the game plan was there. It looked like Michigan was going to go for the quick two and then try to foul. I don't know that I agree with that decision. I mean, you had the time on the clock to do that, but
now you got to hope, if you're Michigan, that Race Thompson, who shoots at 74%, misses both of them. He's 1 for 2 today, and he misses the first. So mind you, Michigan out of timeouts with 12.5 to go. Will Cheddar will enter the game, and Terrace Reed Jr. will depart.
And interesting, Joey Baker on the bench this whole time.
Him and Terrence Williams II did not play a singular minute in the second half and beyond today. 12.5 seconds on the clock. Indiana by 3. Race Thompson, his second free throw attempt. Missed it. Hunter Dickinson grabs a rebound. Here comes Michigan. No timeouts. He needed a three-pointer. Doug McDaniel looking, and Indiana fouls. That's the smart play. I mean, Michigan had a couple of seconds there to try and force up a shot, and one of the Hoosiers fouled.
And that's a smart play. Can't quite see who that was on. Miller Kopp, I think, was the one that...
It was Miller Kopp.
Inflicted the damage there. Smart play for number 12 in white.
So Doug McDaniel has shot 1 of 2 at the line today. Here's his first, and he buried the first one. And so now Michigan.
McDaniel looked unfazed there.
Oh, yeah. Terrace Reed Jr. back into the game. If you're Michigan, do you try and miss this? Doug McDaniel is 2 of 3. Mike Woodson calls timeout on the far side of the floor.
Likely to go over that possibility, that if what to do if Michigan does try to miss it, or if they make it. You run through all these different scenarios in the huddle so you have a game plan and you're not surprised.
You know, while we're at this timeout, I mean, you and I, and Dan, for that matter, were talking about it before the game. Like, what an interesting setup this arena is. It's 2 straight walls on our left and right, and then a mountain of seats in front of us and across from us.
It's unique. It's one of those quirky stadiums that you get in college basketball and college football and even college baseball, all these different venues that have sometimes stood for close to 100 years, and
this one's 51 years old.
Haven't really been changed that much since they were constructed. And obviously Assembly Hall, one of the staples, a must-see venue for any college basketball fan.
Yeah, I would recommend taking in a game here.
It's loud too. It's a loud environment.
The fans they're right on top of you, and they have the reflective panels on the left and right side of the floor, so the sound, it just bounces right back down
and
to the
it
floor.
Feels like every single person in this arena has been standing almost the entire game.
Yeah, at least since Indiana started their run. Michigan silenced them for a moment, went up 12, and then Indiana stormed back. So Doug McDaniel with 6 seconds to go, trailing by 2, bends his knees and misses the free throw. Rebound, Race Thompson. He is fouled immediately. He missed it beautifully, in Michigan, they had the attempt to grab the rebound, and they missed out on it.
And it was a perfect miss by McDaniel. The Hoosiers fumbled it initially. I think that was Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson down there that initially fumbled it. And Dickinson and Terrace Reed just weren't able to get in there to secure the miss. And now you're hoping for 2 more misses from Race Thompson, which that's asking a lot.
As I mentioned before, his first free throw, 74%. What do you think they're looking at here? The officials have just gone to the monitor.
Maybe how much time's left when the foul was committed? I don't think anyone was near the out-of-bounds line.
as it stands right now, 3.9 showing on the clock. Trace Jackson Davis has a game-high 27 points. And so it really has not been much of a factor in overtime.
They do adjust it to 4.1.
So it looks like Indiana will clear out the right side of the floor where Race Thompson will shoot free throws. And here they come. They're going to come fill up the lane now.
And importantly, both teams no timeouts. 4.1 seconds is plenty of time to get the length of the floor, but you're going to have to get a shot up immediately. There's no pausing to draw anything up.
Michigan trying to figure out what to do substitution-wise. Terrace Reed Jr. was in the game, but I think he has to wait until the first free throw to exit because Terrence Williams II is at the scorer's table. Race Thompson's first free throw after missing 2. Missed it.
And Michigan still with life here. A 3, even if Thompson makes his second one, will tie it.
Now, mind you, they put a little bit more time on the clock. So this crowd is urging on Race Thompson. If he makes this one, he can pretty much wrap it up. Free throw up, and he missed it. Here comes Michigan with Kobe Buffkin. 3 on the clock. He throws it to Dickinson, intercepted. Indiana wins. And the officials are stopping something. Juwan Howard comes over to console Kobe Buffkin. And as it stands right now, final score 75-73 IU. And here come the NIT chants from the Indiana crowd, specifically the student section to our left.
And I'm not really sure what these officials are discussing.
And the officials have called it. That's game over. And just another dagger to the heart of the Wolverines. And I mean, this dagger, you might not be able to dance around.
Stretch, if you're Michigan, you had 2 games. You put yourself in position, you 2 big ones.
It's a tough pill to swallow for the Blue.
And with this loss, now you're playing an extra game too. That's an extra hurdle to jump through.
Yep, Indiana has secured the double bye with this win, and Michigan will play as either the 5 or the 8 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Come Thursday will be their first game. They will not play on Wednesday. They avoided the play-in. However, Thursday will be their first game.
And there's a chance Michigan will see that some of these teams that they lost to down the stretch, Penn State, Maryland, these are all teams that Michigan's going to get a chance to avenge those losses. And you're going to need to in the eyes of the committee, because as it stands, Michigan is firmly seated on the bubble on the outside looking in. Like we said at the beginning, initially listed as the first team in the last 4 out. Michigan now, or excuse me, the first team in the next 4 out. Now they're going to really need to jump probably 5 or 6 teams to secure that last spot if they don't get the auto bid.
So one more time, the final score here from Bloomington, Indiana at Assembly Hall. It's been a fun one. Indiana wins in overtime, 75-73 over Michigan. The Wolverines will now await their next opponent, which will be Thursday in Chicago at the United Center in the Big Ten tournament. Likely their tournament lives in the NCAA's